Ultimate X-Men is a comic series, I'm not gonna lie, people, I kind of had to force myself to read. Mainly because nothing I truly found interesting was really done well in this comic, right? Like, basically what's going on in this comic is that it reimagines the X-Men, even though a lot of the X-Men we know and love exist in this world, but not as the X-Men, but as the opposition fighting Colossus and Magic and I almost said Red X. I'm not gonna lie. Whatever, right? They are the opposition, and in Japan, the Ultimate X-Men focuses on these little girls who find out they're mutants, fighting against a cult of mutants led by Mr. Sinister, who is having his, strings like thrown around by a member of the Makers Council called Viper. Yeah, honestly, that's really it. That's really it. Shadow King is essentially a secondary antagonist who's fucking weird, by the way, who is fucking nuts and technically causes the main group to start forming because of his weird ass fucking antics. Everything basically boils down to these girls fighting this cult, using mutants for their own purposes by using tricks and lies, and with a dose of them, with a dose of that mentality of it's them or us. And Mr. Sinister or Meister or whatever the fuck is, the one doing all this. Do I hate this comic? No, I just knew from the jump it just wasn't my style. It definitely is playing up its uniqueness with its art style and everything. The way it repurposes X-Men we know and love, and the mutant war with the X-Men is interesting-ish, right? I'm just not connecting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just not connecting. I did find it kind of interesting that they did start using Shadow King, but it kind of died off when he used his powers to be a fucking freak. The power is shown here in the comic arc, but nothing is really that interesting to me, at least. The main characters themselves aren't really interesting themselves, besides maybe how they are different interpretations of the characters we know. Even Psylocke is here. She basically is just that stereotyped tomboyish kendo freak who wants to fight and, fight the strong, right? As a guy, I really any characters I can really vibe with, because all the characters are girls. All the guys in this comic are pieces of shit. I guess maybe Psylocke's brother is cool, I guess, but he's just there, I guess. He's just there. They do have like what people assume is Dak in here, so that's a little bit more interesting, but they don't really do anything with him. He just has a whole bunch of tubes and stuff in him, so yeah, it's pretty fucked up. And what I do kind of appreciate is that they don't shy away from all the fucked up ass shit that happens here, like the mutant experimentation, Shadow King putting in a kid's head of the main character's friend, like the Shadow King putting in his head to essentially, because Shadow King wanted this kid out of the way so he can have armor, the main character, to himself, is fucking weird and wild. Cyclops, like the Cyclops of this X-Men killing her mom and being so mentally abused that she started begging to be told she was useless by her mom because her mom is extremely abusive. Fucked up too. I think every single issue at least had one thing that was kind of crazy and kind of interesting, but it doesn't really connect to the actual plot most of the time. It just sort of helps develop it. Either that or the characters or the scene. Hell, they even had a moment where they showed Storm from the Ultimate Black Panther comics, and calls herself May Storm in inspiration to that, because their powers are so similar. So I'm like, okay, I guess. It's kind of interesting that they have a bit of a more of a window outside of the world. But with what's going on now, I don't think they'll focus too much on it in the comics, especially with the battle between Bolt and the X-Men getting more serious with them raiding the facility. Overall, it's an okay comic run in the Ultimate series. It's not something I gravitate towards at all, and kind of had to like push myself to read. But what do you guys think? What do you guys will think? Like, not will think. What do you guys think will happen in the comic, and where it'll contribute to the like overall scale of the world, right? Of the Ultimate Comics. I think the girls will be captured and will be sold by the Shadow King, and in different comics like Black Panther, Wolverine, and Spider-Man, they will show up, and and they would have to be rescued. Then they would have to deal with the big event in the comics, and the opposition, and the new X-Men would go back to the X-Men issue, the actual X-Men comic, and decimate the cult who have fully taken over Japan. Peace. I know this is kind of like a quick video on the X-Men, but honestly, I just didn't really have much thoughts about the comic. It was just truly interesting to me. It was just kind of mid for me, right? It's not terrible, but pretty mid for me. Stay safe and healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. Again, peace out. See you guys next time. Later.